Hey, what the hell's going on, you guys? It is Super Player NegativeAE, and welcome back to Higurashi When They Cry. I hope I'm pronouncing that right, because that is how I'm going to pronounce it, I swear. Last we left off, we had just got done with the school day, so let's continue from there. No matter what the last day held, or the day held, the last school bell would always come too soon. Her shadow stretched off into the distance. Hey, Keiichi-kun, tomorrow, do you have plans or anything? Anything? Huh? It was such a direct question from Reina, I inadvertently blushed. If it was for a date, then wouldn't you do it more subtly? Reina saw me lost for words and realized that I had misunderstood, and turned red as well. No, I didn't mean it like that. You see... So apparently that wasn't what she meant. But since it's always fun to, when Reina's in a panic, I went along with it a little. Oh, really? So it wasn't meant that way? Huh? Huh? Playing it up, I slumped my shoulders, feigning dejection. Keiichi-kun, why are you so disappointed? Why? Why? Mii-chan! Unable to hold it in any longer, Mion slapped me on the back. I see, this old geezer never knew you could push her buttons like that. Did she just call herself an old geezer? What is it? Mion was rolling on the floor, clutching her stomach while Reina flailed around, completely bewildered. I couldn't help but start laughing as well. Feeling just a bit guilty, I ruffled Reina's hair. Kidding. Sorry, it was a joke. That was my fault. She really is a cute one. Huh? A joke? Since when? About halfway through. Halfway? So, Keiichi-kun, that means you weren't acting when you blushed at the start? That means there's only a momentary lapse, but there was no way Mion would let such a detectable detail slip by her. Well, you see, saying anything more was also a bad idea. In my bewildered state, I slipped further into an unfavorable position. After that, Mion continued to tease me about it for a while. So, why were you asking if I'm free tomorrow, Reina? Huh? Oh, what were we talking about? It had been so long that Reina had forgotten. That's how long Mion had teased me. It's just Kei-chan. You probably can't find your way around Hinamizawa by yourself yet, can you? That was true. I hate to say it, but if you blindfolded me and spun me around 3 times like we were playing pin the tail on the donkey, I wouldn't be able to tell up from down here. Yeah, I don't think I know how to get anywhere besides back and forth from the school. Yes. So, you see, tomorrow we were thinking that Mii-chan and I could escort you through Hinamizawa and show you around? That would be a godsend. Frankly, I was happy about the offer. You'll come, of course, right? If I'm free. You're being invited by a girl, you know. If I'm free. You're probably free anyways. If I'm free. I was being stubborn so as to not give a clear yes or no. Even though I thought it was a godsend, I'm too much of a scamp to say so up front. Keiichi-kun, you're not free, perhaps? Perhaps? While Mion and I had a rather sour back and forth, Reina peeked over at me hesitantly. Figuring I'd been a bit too rough on her, I just gave in. I'm sorry. Forgive me. I apologize. I'm free. Great! The trepidation disappeared from Reina's face as it fuck. Now I know how to go to the text log. Trepidation in Reina's face as it blossomed into a smile. Hey now. Seems like there's quite a difference between how cold you are to me compared to Reina, isn't there? It seems Mion didn't care how rude I was to her, compared to how quickly I agreed with Reina. But her being annoyed was very interesting. So I pushed Reina forward, speeding up our pace to leave Mion behind. Let's go, Reina. Maybe it should just be the two of us tomorrow. Leave grumpy old Mion behind. Huh? Well, if Keiichi-kun is okay with that, then I'm the one who came up with the idea to take him around. Don't ignore me, Keiichi Meibara. I hope I'm pronouncing things right. It'd be so embarrassing. It'd be great if the two of us could go on a picnic together. Should we bring a basket, Reina? If we bring a basket, I'll make all the food. Maybe. Don't you ignore me too, Reina. I'll tell everyone that you two disappeared into the hotel district together. Holy shit, dude. Fucking Reina just punches the fuck out of anybody who doesn't agree with her. Well then, I'm going home right now to start making it. Tomorrow's going to be so fun. Later, Keiichi-kun. Michan, bye. Reina bounded off like she was walking on the moon. After the dust settled, all that was left was me, standing next to Neon, sprawled out on the ground. There was a welt on her face. Are you alright? There was over 2 meters between you guys. Since you've came, they've become sharper. This old geezer's body can't handle it. Interesting. Maybe it'd be easier if you stopped saying stuff that makes Reina want to hit you. Or maybe we need to take Reina to anger management counseling, Jesus. Or else you end up becoming Neon's slapstick comedy hour. Oh jeez, if that happened, the results might be fatal. Don't feel bad, Neon. You're the only one who can dodge her jabs. Felt like it was her knee, though. Could it be that we were hanging around with an unrivaled martial arts master? Maybe someday we'll see her debut in an extreme contact sport. You can't lose to Reina. You need to train her up and have a rematch. Kei-chan, you should. This old geezer will reap for you. Mion and I reaffirmed our determination to discover a way to counter Reina's infallible technique. It's a kind of cool transition that they did. I don't know how long ago was this game made? I wonder. Because I've known about this forever, like years. You've received new tips. Okay, cool. What are tips? What are all tips? Alright, so these things are extras. These tips are extras that we can come back and like view. For example, we don't have a uniform, we're a mixed grade. So we don't actually need to do those right now. They're just extra things, I think, is how that works. Let me know if they're different than what I think they are. I think they're just like different tidbits of information. I plan on just going back and reading them all after I finish whatever's going on here. So yeah. I took it a little too easy on the morning of my day off. I was totally late. Today was the day Reina and Mion were going to show me around Hinamizawa. Reina and Mion were already waiting at the meeting place. Kei-chan, you're late. Sorry, I was watching last night. Wait, the show I was watching last night was really interesting. Blame that. Oh, so that's the excuse So that's your excuse for being late and keeping 2 girls waiting. Mi-chan, you just got here yourself. Ha. Last night's episode of A Day in the Life of was interesting, wasn't it? She was just as guilty as me. Reina was carrying a pretty heavy-looking handbag. What is that? Neon answered my unspoken question with a wink. That's right. Reina really did make a picnic. Kei-chan, after you left, Reina pulled out all the stops. It's not like I forced her to do it. It was nothing, so don't worry about it, okay? She's been like this since last night, you know. Can you take responsibility for this? Alright, alright. I am a man, after all. I'll take responsibility. Huh? Responsibility? For what? For what? As we both turned around slowly back to look at Reina, our gazes drifted downwards to the massive handbag she was carrying. It didn't seem logically feasible that it would be entirely filled with lunchboxes. Except that this was Reina we were talking about here. About 2 kilos, I guess? When Reina was picking it up, I could see she was struggling a bit. I say 5. You're exaggerating. Ichikun is a boy, after all. I thought he could probably eat a lot, so I made a lot. Okay? Well, let's get going. Heave ho. Jesus. Just from the way she was lifting it up, I couldn't believe the only things in there were lunchboxes. Correction, I say 5 kilos too. I'll help out, but all of it needs to be eaten. I won't forgive you if you make Reina sad, got it? The only thing I could do at the moment was exercise a bit to make myself a bit hungrier. I always add words, huh? So I guess we're gonna eat some kilos of food. Having finished with the pleasantries, we began our leisurely stroll. A carefree walk, bathed in the gentle morning sunlight. I couldn't have imagined something so wholesome existed during my time in the city. There were the boonies after all. Or these were the boonies after all. No slovenly desk jockeys trudging to work on the weekends out here. It really was a nice place. Peaceful and quiet. As sparsely populated as the village was, you could still run into people just by walking around. Ah, good day. Good day. Oh, you would be Maebara-kun, I believe. My 2 companions exchanged greetings with everybody we ran across. All of these passerby even knew my name. When did I become this famous? We passed 3 people, and when all 3 of them knew me, I started to feel a bit paranoid. It's a bit sad to say. Everyone knows everyone since there are so few people here in Hinamizawa. So that means when an unfamiliar face walks by, they automatically assume that it's Maebara, a fella who just moved here? Yeah, that's how it works out. It was a process of elimination that you could only pull off in a place like this, but it was quite effective. From now on, I better make sure to maintain a good reputation. The day I'm discovered accidentally gawking at a dirty magazine in the bookstore, I can expect all the villagers labeling me as a lech by the next day. Hinamizawa is not to be trifled with. Okay. That's not the end of this nightmare. Of course, I know them. The first person we met was old man Takezao from the Makino bike shop. Jesus. His hobbies are bonsai and playing the flute. Next we met the grocer's second son, Daisuke-kun. Right? Daisuke-kun? His hobby is sharpshooting, and he hopes to be an ace sniper in the future. And the person we just met was Mio-san, the nurse from the clinic. Her hobbies are birdwatching and photography. You know the names of everyone we passed by, and even their profiles? Seeing my surprise, Mion and Reina exchanged looks and burst into laughter. Well, yeah. We're not like the city, where people hardly know their neighbors. Then let's try it out. You there, who am I? You're Keiichi Maebara. You say some mean things, but you're actually a kind, shy person. It's been 3 weeks since you transferred here. Your hobby is taking afternoon naps. Lately, you switched over to wearing boxers. Didn't you? That's enough, that's enough. Boxers? Enough of that. Apparently, there's absolutely nothing you can keep hidden here. Hinamizawa was not a place to be trifled with. Interesting. This feels more like you guys are showing me off rather than showing me around. That's right. We're parading around like this after all. Don't you think so too? That Kei-chan is fitting right in here in Hinamizawa. The population in Hinamizawa is shrinking, so the villagers welcome anybody who's new here. I thought about brushing it off with something to the effect of, "You're kidding me," but I held back. Had I ever greeted someone who just moved into the city like this before? Thinking about all that made me believe what they said wasn't a joke at all. Past another person. Of course, we were called out to again by the same way. Jesus Christ. Oh my, good day. It's wonderful seeing you get along. This lady here is Fujishima-san. Good day. Oh my, Meibara-kun, how wonderful for you having a lovely girl on each arm. How are you? Getting used to life here? Instead of regurgitating a prepared response like I would have in the city, I responded with an emphatic nod. The woman chuckled, voicing her appreciation of how energetic I was. Good. As I looked back over to Reina and Mion, they gave me a wink. So, now then. About time to have lunch. Baby? Maybe? Reina's brilliant smile signaled the approach of an event that both Mion and I were trying to forget. We both looked at each other. I'm a man, I'll do what I can. But it's just too much. It's fine, Keiichi-kun. Or Keiichi-chan. Jesus. Leave it to this old man. Mion has never seemed as reliable as she does right now. I'd expect no less from the class representative. Reina, if we're going to eat, we might as well go somewhere with a good view. Yes. Good idea, I agree. Reina nodded her head happily in response to Mion's proposal. Okay. Cresting the top of a stone stairway, a shrine straight out of my imagination appeared before us. It had worn down a bit through the years, but the fallen leaves have swept it up, giving it a tidy feeling. This here is Farude Shrine. It's probably the place with the best view around. This place. Be sure to remember it. On our next break, a festival will be held here. Isn't it a bit too early in the season for a festival? The Watanagashi isn't a summer festival. Long ago, it used to be a celebration of the end of winter. I was embarrassed for assuming that festivals had to be held in the summer. Now then, spread out the lunch boxes, and there. Various colored lunch boxes were placed one after another on top of a plastic sheet. Sure did smell delicious. It was Reina's home cooking. It went without saying that it would be delicious. But how is it even possible to finish all of this? Hey, Mion, it'll take more than just a good view to get this all down, you know? Good afternoon. It was Rika-chan and Satoko. Why are they here? Mion grinned over at me. See, this was her secret plan. Power in numbers. You have my thanks, Mion. Following up all the pieces are in place is my specialty. Following up, oh, I see. We just had to come since there was a commotion. What is the meaning of all this? Take a look. It's time for lunch. Buffet style. Handmade gourmet meal by Reina. I can see that much. Why have you laid out a tarp on our property? Temple is public grounds. It's not yours. Eiichi is right. This is everyone's property. Wow, Rika-chan is such a good girl. Have a seat. Eat with us. After opening up a spot for Rika-chan, I promptly turned my back on Satoko. Hold on 1 second. Where's my spot? No spot for you and nothing for you to eat. Don't worry, there's some for you too. None. I'll eat all of hers. I will not allow that. Rika. Here, chopsticks. Both Satoko and I leapt at the boxes, having it out with each other. And really, Kei-chan, you're really good at leading people on. You might have a talent for this. Have a plate. One for me-chan and Rika-chan too. Reina whipped out a pair of chopsticks and paper plates. If we don't hurry, it'll all be eaten up. That's right. Okay. Shall we commence this battle? Please eat a lot. There's enough for everyone. Reina said as she opened up a thermos. Just then, I realized that this lunch was made under the assumption that 5 people would be eating. It didn't change how much there was, but the implication behind it was different. I will not allow you to have this hamburger. Using your elbow is against the rules, Satoko. Grabbing by the collar is also against the rules. It was a tough battle, blocking with her full momentum and an elbow in the opening moves. Satoko appeared to have the upper hand, but the difference in our proficiency with chopsticks proved to be fatal, gave me the upper hand. The last meatball. Satoko Hyojo has been bested. Satoko and I amiably began choking at the same time, falling backwards and spasming. Rika-chan patted me on the head to clear it, even though she was actually stuck in my throat. It was actually stuck in my throat. Seeing that made Reina blush and breathe heavily in excitement. It was almost like flowers were floating all around her. Mion advised Reina to refrain from saying anything that could get her locked up. I almost read that way wrong. This is how our meals usually go. I'd do anything in my power, just so things could stay like this. The immense battle calmed, and finally everyone reached a point where they could begin talking. Receiving tea from the thermos, I let out a small sigh. I do wonder why there are so few words in Japanese to praise how something tastes. You have like oishi, right? That's all I know off the top of my head. Because the idea of togetherness during a meal didn't begin till the modern era. It seems that a long time ago people ate in silence. It must have made the people preparing the food a bit sad, don't you think? It's probably because back then the people were busy even while eating and didn't have the time to compliment the flavor. That's just you. But, you know, just hearing that it's good makes me happy. That my effort was worth it, I mean. She blushed a little as she said that. It was delicious. With absolute perfect timing, Rika-chan struck Reina directly with praise. She looked straight at her with an expression of bewitching innocence. Huh? After Reina uttered an intelligible noise, a ring of smoke rose from her head with an audible poof. Ow. Rika-chan, I'm gonna take you home. No, I mean, thank you. It was really delicious. Reina flushed red with excitement, embracing Rika-chan and rubbing her cheek against her so hard you could almost hear it. To reward Rika-chan for the praise, tada! These are special. 2 apple rabbits. After sticking toothpicks into them, she thrust. What is an apple rabbit? I had to look that up. After Rika-chan accepted them, the mood suddenly shifted in a bizarre way. What is it, Satoko? What's with that defiant look? Has everyone prepared proper praise to receive apples from Reina-san? Don't push yourself. What kind of praise do you think can you think up with your weak vocab? Oh ho ho, well then, allow me to show you. After Satoko flashed Mion and me a defiant look, she changed her tone of voice suddenly. Hey. So, Reina Oni-chan's lunch. Satoko thought it was yummy too. Satoko looked up at her poutily while talking cutesy. What? How was that praise? That's not even persuasion by tears. That's persuasion by cuteness, isn't it? This is a Reina limited special skill. She blushed and her head spun, waving around in circles. I'll fall for it, Reina. Ah, how? Of course, that was asking for the impossible. Reina glomped Satoko and began rubbing her cheek against her. Cute! Satoko is so cute. Take you home, how? Swish. Stab. Bush. Satoko was also presented with apple rabbits. What the fuck is an apple rabbit? After shuffling them into her mouth, she looked over at Mion and me again with that defiant gaze. It only took 5 seconds to take down Reina. That's unfair. To think she had such a trick. If it upsets you so much, why not reward Reina-san with some praise? Damn it. Such a dirty trick. First of all, that wasn't even praise. Satoko, you think you've won with that, don't you? How about I show you guys something much better than your superficial gimmicks? That sounds great, Mion. What kind of trick is it? Kei-chan is going to be the one that does it. What? Oh ho ho ho. Why don't I have you show me then? The writing of an old maid. The plan of attack she suggested was wicked, but it was the only thing we had to beat Satoko. After sipping my tea, I started talking very naturally and calmly. Perfectly. It's really good, isn't it? This is all freshly made, right? No. Actually, most of it, almost all of it, was frozen stuff. And which ones did you make fresh? Well... It's embarrassing. Do I really have to say it? Must I? From the energy of boy plus handmade lunchbox, her expression had melted into euphoria. I already know. This one, right? Huh? Huh? Reina had turned an even deeper shade of red. The words "I can't believe it" practically written on her face. How can you tell? How that I made it? Of course, Mion had told me beforehand. It's been perfect so far. After acting like I was shy, I waited a beat. Next would be the finisher. It had your smell. Alright, real talk? I don't know if that works. I don't know if that was a good plan. Oh, Satoko also blushed. Of course I did too. I sure would like to try one of Reina's handmade apple rabbits. Something. Even if all of this was because I was competing against Satoko, it felt like I had crossed the line by a good 9 yards, I think. Anytime you say smell in front of a girl, I don't know if it works. Except on Reina. Because I feel like Reina's gonna be like, yeah, let's do it. Yeah. It was a Tupperware container filled with rabbits. But please eat some, Keiichi-kun. There's plenty for you. Instantly, dozens of apples were shoved into my mouth, knocking me over. Apple rabbits. So they're apples. Say, Keiichi-kun. My head was forcibly laid upon her lap and more apples were shoved into my mouth. Kinky. While she was squealing, one apple after another was forced into my mouth. Oh, hi. Hey, Chan, that was a beautiful sacrifice. How's that, Sakoto or Satoko? This is our complete victory, isn't it? I can't believe it. Such trickery. It doesn't bother me at all. Satoko ground her teeth, mortified. We did it. I claimed victory as my consciousness drifted slowly away from me. At that time, Reina had stopped her squealing as she suddenly realized something. Rika-chan, you're not eating it? Salt make the water too strong, maybe? Maybe? Looking over, Rika-chan had pulled the toothpick out of the apple rabbit and placed it into her cupped hands, and seemed to be at a loss for what to do. Poor Mr. Rabbit. I feel sorry for him. What the fuck is... I want to save him. Whee! That was the... oh, thank you. That was the sound of blood spurting from Reina's nose. Tonight I will take you home. She shook sporadically, her head wobbling back and forth. Then, coming back to her senses, she took all of the apples around me, gathered them up with a whip, and fixed them back up on a plate. Now, they're all fine, Kay? Here, I'll just give them to you, Rika-chan. Kay? Rika-chan raised up Satoko's hand like a referee. And after having that plate of rabbit shoved to her, she whispered, "This is our victory." What? A comeback? Thus my sacrifice ended up being in vain. Odd. I'm sure someone is telling me what an apple rabbit is. I'm gonna look it up right after this, so I'll probably know exactly what it is. But man, is that a new term for me. It was a fun-filled, crazy day. But as soon as the sun began to set... What the fuck? I swear I didn't click that. The end of the day really did come quickly. Later, Reina and Kei-chan, see you tomorrow. Thanks for today, Mian. I had a great time. See you tomorrow. Satoko and Rika-chan went home as well. They parted ways with Mian, and it ended with just Reina and myself enjoying the evening air on our way home. Thanks for coming today, Keiichi-kun. Was it fun? Yeah, lots of fun. Almost feels like a waste to go home now. Then, well, would you mind taking a little detour? Maybe? A detour? Is it far? It's a bit of a walk, but it won't take long. Since we had been walking around all day, I must have seemed a bit tired. Not feeling like teasing Reina, I quietly nodded. Wants to kiss you. That's how this goes. You don't just take a detour for no reason. There's a reason for the detour. Traversing a small path and up a small hill, the land suddenly stretched out before us. There, what looked like the remains of a dilapidated construction site came into view. A large heap of garbage spread out towards the swamp. Probably illegal dumping. I recalled it in the newspaper. Been quite a while. I wonder what's here. When you say it's been a while, you mean the business you had here was with this garbage pile? It's not garbage. To me, it's a pile of treasure. Reina had already entered that well-known cute mode of hers. So that meant that there was something cute here? Whoa, new pile. I can't wait, I can't wait. She bounded up the unstable slope. I'd expect no less from a born and bred country girl. Hey, wait, I'm coming. Whoa. We're gonna find something cute and kiss over it. My city self was completely pitiful. It's alright. Just stay there, Keiichi-kun. It won't take long. Reina kindly declined my accompaniment. Don't fall. Watch your step. I'm fine, I'm fine. This is nothing at all. Literally bounding up out of the trash, Reina disappeared over the other side. I didn't like being left behind, but I was still pretty tired from the whole day, so I just ended up waiting. Without the lively Reina around, the surrounding area quickly fell to silence. The cry of the Higurashi gently cooled the air. Fairly exhausted, I began to feel a little sleepy. Just then, the sudden noise of scattering pebbles alerted me to somebody's presence. Startled, I turned around. Oh, hi. Standing there was a typical-looking photographer. He spied at me through his camera. His body was tanned and fit, but something about him seemed unreliable, and he had a bit of an aloof air about him. Well, it didn't seem like he was a bad guy in any case. Whoa. He surprised me. Although startled when I turned around, he overplayed his reaction. That was my line. I'm the one who's surprised here. My bad, my bad. I didn't mean to startle you. Are you from Hinamizawa? I gathered that he wasn't from that question. Unfazed by my suspicious outlook, he introduced himself without my prompting. I'm Tomitake, freelance photographer. I come to Hinamizawa from time to time. I didn't ask who you were. Quite rude to photograph someone without consent, one would think. My bad, my bad. I mainly photograph wild birds. They can't refuse, you see? So, what you're saying is the same as the birds. No, well, you see, that image of a young man in twilight was just picturesque. I apologize for trying to take your picture without asking. Adults are pretty slick. All that annoyance I felt from being startled just flew away as he buttered me up. I had no intention of hanging around with this guy trying to get cozy with me, except it didn't seem like Reina would be back soon. But this older guy, Tomitake-san, he didn't mind my cautious responses and continued rambling on by himself. Keiichi-kun, sorry to keep you waiting. I'm finished now. Reina popped her head out from one of the lower piles of garbage and waved her hand. Have someone with you? What would she be doing over there? That's what I wanted to know. I don't know. Maybe she's checking on that dismembered corpse that was out here long ago. Tomitake-san looked shaken up by that for a moment. I responded like I would if I were talking with Rain and the others. It was quite a disturbing incident. They still haven't found one of the arms. Keiichi-kun, sorry to keep you... You were waiting a while, I guess. Guess? It'd be best to leave you two lovebirds alone. I'd best leave you two lovebirds alone. Again, my apologies for startling you, Keiichi-kun. Okay. Tomitake-san chortled suggestively, then disappeared into the twilight. My chance to retort pulled me off a bit. Keiichi-kun, are you angry? Why, I wonder. It wasn't Reina's fault, so I just decided to brush it off for now. What was it? Find a treasure trove? Oh yes, so listen. You see, There was a Colonel Sanders doll. Colonel Sanders doll? Oh, that thing from those statues they always put out front of that fried chicken place. That life-size dummy? Yes, Colonel Sanders. How cute. I want to take it home. I couldn't tell how she decides what's cute or not, but, well, she seems to want it. It's garbage, right? No one would care if you just take it home, right? Become the base of another pile. I can't dig it out easily. There's no lamppost over there, so it'll get pretty dark soon. Reina seemed quite down about finding a treasure and not being able to bring it back. I'll help you out. To repay you for that delicious picnic you prepared today. Oh, thank you. Birds heading home to roost proclaimed that nightfall would soon be upon us. Keiichi-kun is going to help. I can take Colonel Sanders home now. Reina staggered all along as if intoxicated in her dreamy state of mind. I tried asking her in a way that wouldn't take her out of her cheery state. Hey, Reina. Long ago, did something happen here? Seems like they were building a dam here. I don't know the details, though. Oh. I was just wondering if you knew about, an accident or something? I don't know. Her tone was disturbingly frank. Sounded more like a denial than an answer. I must have appeared rather dumbstruck. Reina quickly lightened her expression. Actually, I didn't leave here until a year ago. Huh? You transferred here too? I was sure that... So you see, I really don't know much from before that. Sorry. Doesn't want to talk about it. That was the kind of feeling she gave to me. Thinking about it, of course, it would be like that. This wasn't the type of thing that girls would enjoy talking about. It was a disturbing incident. It seems they haven't been able to find one of the arms. If it's just as Tomitake-san said, then I had a feeling that only the Higurashi would know. Interesting. Alright, so can we recap? I'm gonna go ahead and end it here. Just because this seems like a good stopping point. New tips: the Mayboro Mansion, the Dam Site Murder Dismemberment Newspaper Edition. I'm gonna stop it here. Someone explain to me if I should be going through these tips, because I can if I want to. So if you guys want me to do that, go ahead and leave in the comments. Let me know. So let's recap. I thought we were gonna kiss there. We didn't kiss. There was like a guy instead there. And they brought up that something happened and there was a murder. And then what's her name doesn't want to talk about it because she just moved here about a year ago. So we'll see what happens. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you guys enjoyed this episode, please hit the like button. I really appreciate it. Also subscribe if you haven't done so already. I plan on playing this whole thing, but we'll see where that goes. I know there's like 6 chapters or something like that, so we'll see what happens. I will see you guys in the next episode of this. Peace out, you guys.